Hello, and welcome once again to the Raging Introvert. Today and for the next 11 months or so, I'll be recording from lovely Pristina, Kosovo. Uh, Nice little area, nice part of the world. They love Americans, and that's great. But today, we're going to talk about this article, which seems a little strange. Gay athletes are making history at the 2018 Winter Olympics. What kind of statistics or media bias could you possibly have in something like this? If we scroll down here, the first couple of paragraphs are what you'd expect, talking about all the wonderful things gay athletes are doing in this year's Winter Olympics. And we got a couple instances here of the intersectionality, trying to break down a person to as many categories as possible so that they can get some kind of recognition. Talking about this American, the first is making history by being the first out gay man from the U.S. to medal in a Winter Olympics. Think of all the different criteria. Not any Olympics, a Winter Olympics. He has to be male, and he's not the first gay man, but he's the first out gay man, and he's the first one to medal, not win, not just participate. And in fact, he medaled. He took bronze. So there's still plenty of other milestones to achieve. He could be the first one to win a gold medal, the first multiple winner of medals, the first winner of multiple Olympics. So it's nice that we hit what I like to call micro milestones. If we break down the categories, add enough categories, we can make you a winner in just about any category. And in fact, the next line here talks about a Canadian who became the first openly gay Winter Olympics champion because he won the gold medal along with his skating partner. But that's not the gist of it. Although it does come down here in conclusion for this first part, it has a quote from, I believe, I think it's the American, one of the two, no, the Canadian. He says, quote, "So proud to be wearing these medals and showing the world what we can do," end quote. Which I always find interesting. Showing the world what you can do. Was there someone out there in the world who didn't think homosexuals could win medals at the Olympics? I mean, I would be impressed if Saudi Arabia or Iran had an openly homosexual person participating in the Olympics, let alone winning a medal. That would be something that I would be impressed, and that would be something I would not expect. And you could be showing the world that, in fact, those countries do support homosexual people. Someone from Canada or the United States participating and winning in the Olympics, it's the same thing with the recent presidential elections, talking about we need to elect Hillary Clinton to show that a woman can be elected president, or Barack Obama, a milestone that we show that African Americans can be voted president. I don't think in the Western world that's really a question anymore. It's just, when will it happen? Who is it going to be? Not can it be done? But again, that's not the gist of it. There are a little bit of statistical stuff in here. And again, it's being skewed, as you can do with numbers, the way you present them, to push an agenda. The latest win, so to speak, for Team LGBTQ. A record 14 out athletes are participating in this year's games. That's up from 7 in 2014 Winter Games, and yet it's a far cry from the 2016 Summer Olympics, which boasted a record number of LGBTQ athletes with at least 41 participating. Now, what's interesting is there's no context given. Anytime you're given numbers, raw data like this, 14 this year, 17 at the last Winter Games, but nothing like the 41 at the Summer Olympics, you should be asking, so what? You've given me some raw numbers, so what? What am I supposed to take away from this? They're not telling you anything, but the assumption, what a reasonable person would take away from that is, oh wow, for some reason the Winter Olympics, I guess, are homophobic, have a long way to go. For some reason, the Summer Olympics are much more homosexual friendly, I guess. That's not true at all. In fact, if you look, it has a link to the record number, a link to, not this one, up here, Out Sports. So let's go to Out Sports and see what Out Sports says. In fact, it's pretty much copied verbatim. Number of Out Olympics, top 7 from 2014. In contrast, there were 56 Olympians, at the much larger Summer Olympics in 2016. Much larger. Well, that's actually a bit of useful contextual information to know that the Summer Olympics are bigger. Let's see how much bigger, in fact. In 2014, the Winter Olympics had 2,873 athletes participating. Okay? And that's 2014 Winter Olympics. The 2016 Summer Olympics had 11,238. That's almost 4 times as many athletes participating. And in fact, I put together a little handy chart here in OpenOffice because I'm too cheap. I don't have Outlook or PowerPoint. But let's look at this crappy graph I made. Here's 2014, 2016, the number of out participants. And really, what the important thing should be is what percentage of the participants overall were out. And as you look, 0.24% of the winter 2014 were out, 0.36% of the summer 2016, and assuming this year's Winter Olympics were relatively close to 2014's participation numbers, should be 0.48%. In fact, instead of giving the impression in this article back here that this is somehow a long ways to go to meet the Summer Olympics, what they should be doing is trumpeting the fact that this is the gayest Olympics ever, and it's now the standard that the next Summer Olympics should be striving for. But for some reason, that's not. That's not referenced at all. That's not the impression that one gets from this article. And the reason why, of course, is they don't want to celebrate the overall success of the sport. They want to make it look like numbers are underrepresented, that there's a problem with the Olympics, and it's something that needs to be improved upon. Whether or not that's true is a separate topic. But the reason they're manipulating these numbers and not giving all the contextual information is because they have an agenda they want to push. And that's unfortunate. Anyway, it's a quick, simple summary. I found actually quite a few things that I'll be working on because there's been there's always a lot of news coming out, but a lot of stuff out there with manipulation and misinformation that I want to call out. But this is a nice, quick, simple way to get back into the swing of things. And hopefully I'll have better sound. My better microphone, for some reason, is crapped out on me, so I'm using this crappy headset. But thanks for tuning in. Let me know what you think, and there'll be more from me in the future.